Very cool. Way to go.
Welcome back to Banging the Can, the Houston sports show that does not apologize for championship rings and tings, presented by Bolen Media, with new episodes dropping every Monday and Friday. I am Ross Bolen, and the Texans did it. We won a football game. 1-3, baby. Let's go. On Sunday afternoon, the Texans shut out the Tennessee Titans 26-0 and confirmed that at the very least, we are not fans of the worst team in the NFL. I'm going to start with some positivity and say that shutting any NFL team out is a very impressive feat. A win is a win, and winning is good. We like winning. We will take it. That being said, the Titans are absolutely awful, truly terrible, might not win a game this season, and the Texans still didn't play what I would call inspired or impressive football, especially offensively. This was a very, very unenjoyable game. Disgustingly boring. But if you wanted to see the difference between a team that isn't playing well and is still trying to find its offensive identity versus a team that is just all around shit that sucks terrible stinky balls, this was it. Neither team even got into the opposing team's red zone until the last play of the third quarter. I was dozing off repeatedly in the first half. So boring. Nobody got in the red zone till the last play of the third quarter when the Texans finally did it. So the Texans achieved 20 first downs to the Titans' 10, although we still were not great on third down, going 6 for 15 on conversions. The Texans had 353 total yards to the Titans' 175. We had 224 through the air and 129 on the ground. The Texans possessed the ball for 38 minutes and 21 seconds compared to the Titans' 21 minutes and 39 seconds. Just complete ownage, a total beatdown. And as ugly as it was, you do love to see it. Fuck the Titans and their entire franchise. You do love to see it. I don't want to downplay how great it is to get a win, particularly this weekend when we really needed it after seeing the Astros fail to make the postseason for the first time since 2016. And given all of the events of the prior week, Houston sports fans have been in a pretty dark place. So we just needed a win. We knew that if we lost this game to the Titans, that the season was effectively over. If we dropped to 0-4 before playing the Ravens week 5 and then the bye week 6, there were probably going to be some pretty drastic changes to this franchise and its front office. I think that's entirely possible. A lot of blame has been cast by the media and by fans, and a lot of things have been said. And up until this game, not a lot of things have been done by the Houston Texans this season. The first 3 games were really, really sad. This one was also sad, but for different reasons. So getting a win on Sunday, regardless of the opponent and how absolutely dog shit they might be, was great. And it felt really good to be at least a semi-prideful Texans fan for a Sunday afternoon, okay? Big takeaways from this one. First off, rookie Woody Marks should be the new Texans RB1. Woody had 17 touches for 69 yards, averaged 4.1 yards per carry, had an 18-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter, but also caught 4 passes for 50 yards and a touchdown, 119 total yards for Woody. He was the bright spot in the Texans offense. He plays like he has more motor than anyone else on this offense, and he averaged more yards per carry than Nick Chubb. Woody should be the man now. He has shown through the first 4 games that he is probably our most effective blocking running back as well. He's just got the kind of spark and the engine that you're looking for an offense that is otherwise struggling. You need guys that are going to make shit happen. Just no excuses. Just make shit happen. And that is what Woody Marks has been doing through 4 games. So I am hopeful that at the very least it's going to be a backfield by committee, but Woody should get the majority of the touches moving forward, given what he has shown through the first 4 games. Jaden Higgins also caught a 24-yard touchdown. Rookie wide receiver, looked impressive blocking as well. Loved what I saw from Jaden Higgins in this game, and we should see more of him moving forward as a result, just like we should see more of Woody Marks. Fairbairn also hit 2 field goals from 43 and 47. He missed one from 54 yards. Another really big takeaway, DeMeco Ryans surrendered play calling duties to defensive coordinator Matt Burke so D'Amico could shift his focus to the overall operation, is what has been told to us. But given the circumstances, what that means is so that D'Amico could shift more of his focus to the offense. Now, given the confidence D'Amico Ryans has in his defense and the fact that new offensive coordinator Nick Kade has been struggling mightily through the first 3 games, this made sense. And Matt Burke proved this to be the right choice by leading his defense to shut out the Titans completely. Not a single solitary point. That is the swarm we are looking for. That is the swarm we have been missing. Titans QB Cam Ward only completed 10 passes. Danielle Hunter had 2 sacks, and Tennessee was shut out for the first time since 2019. And it was the Texans' first shutout in almost 15 years as well. Last time the Texans shut someone out was the Tennessee Titans in November of 2010. So what do we think about this move from D'Amico Ryans? And I'm genuinely asking. I want to hear from you in the comments section on YouTube. D'Amico gives up defensive play calling to his defensive coordinator, and it results in a shutout and the most effective offensive game we have played thus far this season. I love this, personally. I love it. It shows something in 2 ways. One, that I already mentioned, he has enough confidence in his defense. He believes in his defensive coordinator, Matt Burke, and that Matt Burke could make the right choices, press the right buttons, keep the defense where D'Amico at the very least had it himself, if not elevate it. And that all worked out. And very clearly, Nick Kade, I don't know where the ceiling is with him as an offensive coordinator. I do know that the offense, as we've said week after week after week for the first 3 games, was as bad as we've seen a Texans offense before, and it's been really discouraging. And frankly, the more time I've had to digest what occurred weeks 1 through 3, the defense is certainly not the problem. The defense is solid. It's quite good. If you go look at the teams that we played weeks 1 through 3 and the results of their games in their other weeks, it just proves what I'm saying. Our defense is very solid, if not really good, okay? But all things considered, it's really difficult to get a feel for exactly how much progress was made week 4 against the Titans for the Houston Texans, because, to take it back to the beginning of the show, the Titans are really, 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 really bad. Really, 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 really bad. Like, unwatchably terrible. Okay? So, you can't say you're, like, wildly impressed by what occurred here. All right? And it won't be until the coming weeks when we play some actual competition that we can get a feel for where this Texans offense still where they're at. Whether they've actually gotten better or this was just a Titans team that's so beaten down and pathetic that we were able to finally put some points on the board. Because, again, the first half was still nearly unwatchable. Okay, the Texans only managed a field goal in the first quarter and another in the second quarter, so it was 6-0 at halftime. Not exactly exciting. CJ Stroud still looked just like sad. Like every time they'd show CJ on the bench, he looked like he was about to cry, but he also might just have resting cry face. Like, I'm not sure, but I would note CJ Stroud did not wear a baseball hat to this game. No Mariners hat, no Yankees hat, finally gets a win. Coincidence? I think not. In the second half, things started clicking a bit more, culminating in 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns. 3 touchdowns for the Texans in the fourth quarter alone, matching the number of touchdowns they had in the previous 3 games combined, which again, it feels nice, it's good, it's progress, it's positive. We're going to take it, but it's still insanely discouraging to say we scored as many touchdowns in the fourth quarter of a game against a team that you almost can't call a football team in the Titans, and that was as many as we had scored in the previous 3 games combined. So we scored as many touchdowns in the fourth quarter of this game as we had the entire season thus far, all right? And having to say that still gives you some serious pause, right? The offensive line still looked pretty goddamn bad. Particularly on a play where CJ Stroud was sacked before he could even drop back. Like, this dude, for those of you who are watching, you know exactly what play I'm talking about. The guy just literally walked right through the line unblocked and was on CJ's back before he could even drop back to run the fucking play. It was one of the fastest sacks in NFL history. It was like the equivalent of trying to time it to where you like jump over the center right at the snap and just land on the quarterback. Like it was that, except he didn't even have to do the thing where you jump. He just walked straight through unblocked and grabbed CJ, who, by the way, still finished, CJ Stroud did, with 233 yards and 2 touchdown passes. So it's easily his best game of the season so far. But again, against this not so stout competition, it's difficult to feel like overly optimistic about where we're at. So I want to stay real about this team while also celebrating what was a much needed win. Okay, because the Texans play the Baltimore Ravens next Sunday at noon. The Ravens are a shocking 1-3 after getting the shit kicked out of them by the Chiefs. So they've lost to the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Bills, only beating the Browns. Obviously, those are 3 very good football teams, 3 Super Bowl contenders that they have lost to in the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Bills. They beat the Browns. Lamar Jackson's status for Sunday against the Texans is currently up in the air after he suffered a hamstring injury of some kind against the Bills, or against the Chiefs, rather. But we have the same record as the Baltimore Ravens. The Houston Texans at 1-3 have the same record as the Baltimore Ravens, which tells you a lot about the NFL, okay? It's a nice reminder, okay, that as bad as things might seem right now, this shit happens. Teams have bad starts. Teams underperform. Teams have things go not their way, and they have to adjust. They have to look in the mirror and make changes, right? So after this win over the Titans, are things looking up for the Texans? I would argue yes. Last week, we were in a position where we were looking down the barrel of 0-4, potentially 0-5 going into the bye week. 1-4 going into the bye week at best was our situation last week. But with the injury to Lamar and the Ravens seemingly having some serious struggles of their own, it puts things in a much different light. Now we're 1-3. Hell, I don't know. Maybe we'll be 2-3 at the bye week. Maybe we beat the Ravens. At the very least, it puts the Texans in a position where they can look at their next opponent knowing that they finally got a win under their belts. They don't have to feel the enormous amount of pressure that surely they felt going into the Titans game, regardless of how badly the Titans suck balls. And they can build off of this win. That's how football works. You build week to week. You try to establish momentum, maybe more than any other sport, because there are not so many games. Like there's 162 in baseball, 83 in basketball or whatever. You get 17 of these fucking things, and you got to build week to week, and you got to establish a foundation from which to build. And you could argue that that's what the Texans accomplished this week against the Titans, no matter how badly the Titans franchise should be sold or just altogether disbanded and abandoned because they're that bad. So I feel pretty good. Like, I feel pretty good about where the Texans are at. We just needed a shred of light to come in through the darkness and give us an opportunity to see a little bit. The fact that DeMeco Ryans surrendered play calling duties to his defensive coordinator tells me a lot about DeMeco as a leader. It tells me a lot about his ability to get real and look himself in the mirror and see what the team needs him to do most. And certainly that is to focus on offensive production, given Nick Caley's struggles as a first-time offensive coordinator. So yeah, things are looking up for the Texans. It's yet to be determined just how far up we should look. And what happens in this Ravens game on Sunday is going to play a huge role in our ability to determine exactly how much momentum they've been able to establish, or how much trouble we might still be in is another way to look at it. But like, at least you've got a win under your belt. At least the Colts lost as well. That's huge. This is going to be a huge game in Baltimore as a result. And that is the obvious downside, regardless of the fact that that Lamar Jackson might be out. It's a road game. It's a road game against a raucous Ravens team and crowd. So yet to be determined exactly how much positivity we should take away from this win over the Titans, who again are an embarrassment to the game of football and to the NFL. But it's so much better than the alternative of being 0-4 and looking down the barrel of 0-5. So I'm happy. I feel good. You know, it's going to be a weird next several days. September's going to come to an end. October's going to start. the Houston Astros will not be in the postseason, we can focus on the Texans here. We've got some time now between baseball season ending, or baseball season ending for us, and the NBA season starting up, where we can focus on just the Texans. And I feel really good about that. Now, if you're an Astros fan and you're here looking to hear what I have to say about the Astros season ending, I'm going to do a special episode dedicated just to that tomorrow, an Astros exit interview episode, if you will, where I will discuss the season, the shortcomings. I will give my opinion about Joe Espada and his leadership as manager. I'll give my thoughts on Dana Brown and his moves that he made this year as general manager, what I think Jim Crane may or may not do, players that are free agents that may or may not return, such as Framber Valdez. I'll give my thoughts on the season on the whole, everything that went down with the Astros this year, and where I think the franchise is at, whether or not I believe the golden age of Astros baseball to be over, etc., so on and so forth. So you got that to look forward to tomorrow, Astros fans. Going to do a special extra episode this week since it is our first time missing the postseason since 2016. It feels necessary. But for today, we're focused on the Texans. We're soaking in a big win over a very bad team, but a shutout win, which makes it an actually impressive win to me. A shutout win against a rookie quarterback who only completed 10 passes? Sure. But this is professional football, baby. You shut somebody out, you celebrate that shit. It's been almost 15 years since we shut anybody out. That tells you how impressive it is. We have had some really good defensive teams over the past 15 years, and yet we have still never shut anybody out. We have played some really bad football teams over the past 15 years, and yet we have not shut anybody out. So it is a very big, impressive, worthy of acclaim accomplishment. And we should bask in that because, frankly, given what we've seen through 4 weeks, we might not have a lot to bask in this season. I hope I'm wrong. I hope things continue to improve. I hope the offense continues to find its footing. I hope what occurred in the fourth quarter of this game against the Titans gives C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, the offensive line, Woody Marks. I hope it gives these guys a boost of confidence and belief that they can continue to get better and better and better and show us something against a Ravens team that, Lamar Jackson or not, will be one of the, if not the most stout competition we have faced so far this season. So, Texans fans, we got one. We got one. And that's nice. That's very nice. We should all be happy. It's a nice little Victory Monday for all of us, you know? So that will do it for today's show. Remember, we have new episodes dropping every Monday and Friday every week on youtube.com/@bangingthecan. We are also on Spotify, where you can watch in full video, just like you can on YouTube, or you can opt for audio if that is your prerogative. We are on Apple Podcasts. If you are watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button, turn on notifications, leave me a comment. Tell me what you saw in this Texans-Titans game that gives you hope. Tell me what you saw that gives you pause. Save your Astros takes for tomorrow, please. But if you're on YouTube and you're watching, it's huge. It does a lot for us if you hit the subscribe button, if you hit the like button, if you leave a comment, if you turn on notifications so that you find out immediately every time we drop a new video. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please rate us 5 stars. Write a couple sentences in the form of a review. If you're on Spotify, give us 5 stars there as well. Share the most unapologetic Houston sports show in existence with your friends and family. That also helps us grow. We do our thing on social media where you can follow us at Banging the Can on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Threads. But word of mouth from you, those of you who enjoy our show, to those you know who are also Texans, Astros, and Rockets fans, goes a long way to helping us grow. I am Ross Bolen. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at WRBolen. I will be back tomorrow to discuss the Astros missing the postseason for the first time since 2016, and I will tell you exactly how upset you should be about that. Until next time, H-Town, stay down.